origins of our country. I love this country. But in times like this, we have to look at truth. We have to take a thoughtful look at how we got here. Because if we're trying to solve the problems, we don't recognize the root cause, our solutions may be inadequate. Besides, their intent for the Declaration of Independence was not the last word, because so many people took those stirring words at face value. They said, yeah, it should apply to all men. Oh, and women too. Incrementally, it starts one step back for every 2 steps forward. We have slowly, all too soon, expanded the circle of inclusion of those rights. We try to have fundamental moral principles. All people hold equal rights, and to secure those rights, government instituted among them.
Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much. Oh my God. We didn't bring the Palestinian flag because we didn't know if everybody would freak out. So,
well,
you know what?
I fly it every weekend.
I love it. I love it, love it, love it. I'll come and see you after it.
Okay, great. Hi.
Yes, my brother, yes. I love this. Thank you. Thank you. I'm like you, I'm an anti-genocide candidate.
Right, yes.
This is devastating.
Prove you wrong? What are we supposed to prove you wrong about?
It's not a genocide.
Well, there's
Israel has a program to eliminate the Palestinian population throughout historic Palestine.
okay. Wait. Through historic Palestine.
No,
But there was no
all
such
of-
thing as a Palestinian. They
Yeah,
were
you just
Arabs.
cut me off every time, right? So,
But you're not telling me the facts.
it's a false argument to say they left Gaza. They never left surrounding it. They never left controlling it. They never left, in effect, occupying it.
Okay.
Right. So many different organizations, and I've got a list of them right there, have studied it and said it's a genocide. Including the Society of Genocide
So
Scholars.
what's the legal definition of a genocide?
Sorry, can
I
I buy
can
one
go
of
to,
these?
yeah, the 50 cents.
50 cents?
Yeah.
Why are you wasting your money on that?
Because she supports the Palestinian people, which obviously you don't. Okay.
I support the Palestinian people that want peace and are willing to coexist, but that doesn't seem like it's possible.
Okay, that's right.
Okay.
Thanks.
Sorry you don't know anything about the real history there, young lady. Facts.
Here's what they said. Since October 2023, Israel has fundamentally changed its policy toward the Palestinians. Following the Hamas-led attack on October 7, October 2023, Israel launched an intensive military campaign in the Gaza Strip, which is still underway more than 21 months later. This was written much earlier. Israel's onslaught on Gaza includes mass killings, both direct attacks and Israeli catastrophic conditions, and leads to mass death.
Can I ask you a
death
question?
toll.
Can I ask you a question?
You wanted a definition of genocide.
I'm a genocide
I think
scholar.
they have
I'd like
one
to
in
learn
there.
more.
You're a genocide scholar?
American University, PhD and professor.
Okay.
Specialized in
And the
genocide.
Society of Genocide Scholars has declared it a genocide.
Yes.
I got a
yes,
list of all the
genocide.
different
So-
organizations that
so-
declared it a
87%
genocide.
of the resolution condemning it as genocide. About a year ago, I don't remember how many months ago, it was IAG, the International Association of Genocide Scholars. I know this is the other association, doesn't do resolutions, but similarly the majority. I was at the INOX conference in LA here in 2023, and there were already panels on that.
Ties in the league.
All right. That doesn't make it true.
Yes, but the experts have a consensus.
The
academics,
experts are anti-Semitic.
all the experts are anti-Semitic.
Yeah.
The United Nations,
Yes,
all the
especially
reporting.
them.
I have to tell you,
Especially.
that always reads to me as a very disingenuous argument because it means that you must reject all reasoning that does not coincide with your logic because you can just subsume it under, oh, they're discriminatory. Jewish experts, Israeli experts from Bartov at Brown University wrote a famous op-ed in the New York Times. He was part of the IDF, and he has come out to say, it breaks my heart to say this, but I know it when I see it. It's a very famous article in the New York Times, and he was famously
There's
hesitant.
always going to be people on both sides
But your
that.
logic is simply that experts don't know, the UN doesn't know, special rapporteurs don't know, nobody knows because they're all anti-Semitic. All their logics are wrong. All the evidence, all the civilian targeting, all the casualty numbers that have been verified by the IDF.
How much are these? How much are these?
$5 for the $3 for the solar.
Well,
Those
the,
are
right now,
Approximately.
What, 50 cents?
these.
we
Okay.
are notoriously bad at knowing how many people are killed during episodes of
What
genocide
are the
or war.
numbers being thrown
wait.
out there?
The IDF has verified this. I don't remember
What do you
they
want?
verified this.
Let me get two of these.
One thing to know before
10,
starting is that when you have patterns in war that
That's fine.
talk
You
about,
can keep the change.
um,
Thank you for what you do, sir. Thank you.
X number of wounded usually correlates to X number of dead. We have, there's a little bit of variation, but we see
Right.
some consistency across conflicts, right?
Right.
Right? And that those also differences in demographics according to the dead are one of the differentiations between war and genocide. You usually see a much wider set of demographics targeted in genocide war. But your question is, at the very least, according to the IDF,
Right.
70,000
Okay.
dead, which
Okay.
corresponds to about 200,000 casualties. And those
Right.
numbers,
So,
according to the last,
but I
have
just
been
have some questions.
Wait, let me finish. Have been heavily estimated to be undercount. In every case of war where offending parties,
No, but I have a different point I'm trying to make here. Of the 70,000, is that everybody that's being killed? Is
No,
that
that's-
combatants and is that
good,
civilians?
No, that's a
wonderful
serious
question.
undercount.
It's correct. That is
It's a
absolutely
very
correct.
serious
It's very
undercount.
serious undercount. But according to Israel's own data,
Right.
it was, I think I remember it was about 84% civilians that were non-targeted. Because this was published. So the targeting data, you can actually search this up. It was reported numerous. The amount of combatant kills that they could confirm was under 15% of those killed casualties. And you can look, I'm not here for a fight, I'm on tourist.
Oh yeah, no.
But
We're
you
cool.
You have 200-page reports from the United Nations, from independent experts. You have photos from the ground. You have this to look at. As a genocide scholar, it kills me for people following the definitions that oftentimes they don't understand the legal background. The easiest definition of genocide is that academics also use. It is a total war against the population. I myself have authored with scholars at American University analysis that, for example, the prohibition of entry of food and water, the targeting of civilian infrastructure, is a clear marker of genocidal intent. But there's so much beyond that. At this point, it may be hurtful to understand, it may be hurtful to recognize. I understand that the idea of victims, historical victims committing violence is difficult, although it's not the first time it's happened. Rwanda is one of their cases, very interesting. This is settled at the academic level. The majority of academics agree. The majority of lawyers are taking this forward. If this might not make it in the ICC, but
That's fine. But my point is, of the people killed, they're
first of
saying
all,
15% are maybe combatants.
the standard of genocide is not according to what demographic percentage our fighters are non-targeted.
But that's not what
That
not a
has
point
nothing to do with the
I'm
definition.
trying to make.
But your point is, if it's
Oh,
only
there are a number of
50%
different points.
combatants, if you're 50% combatants and 85% civilians, that is a rate only comparable to Rwanda in terms of kills. There is no other modern war in which you have that ratio, ever. There is no comparison point. There is no comparison point since the end of the Cold War in terms of civilian bombing to this extent. The evidence of intent
Well,
is
where
immense.
does Hamas keep its weapons?
So imagine, right now here, first of all, that does not justify flattening an entire city. And as someone who studies this, I can tell you counterinsurgency warfare always uses these
Tell me your
tools.
thoughts on October. No, tell me your thoughts on October 7th.
Mass
Was
atrocities. Mass
Was
atrocities.
Hamas justified for attacking
No,
killing
and
civilians?
the right
The way they
to
did?
you are, one thing to notice here is when you can't defend points, you're pivoting to others that are easier to defend.
I'm not trying.
And
Look,
I have no problem. I have no problem.
I can present all the facts to you.
Yes,
You-
and
you
out of
won't-
the two of us,
You won't believe it.
and out of the two of us,
Present the facts to me. I'll probably disagree because I know what the facts are.
out of the two of us,
Yeah.
I am the PhD scholar in this field.
That
I have
that and
documented-
$5 will get you a cup of coffee at Starbucks.
You can project all you want expertise. That's completely fine with me. There's hundreds of pages of reports from all kinds of different
I know,
areas.
that's great.
And you can say they're all anti-Semitic. But the notion there is that you have decided what you want to believe, and no amount of evidence will
No.
push you to come.
You know what I believe? You know what I believe? I believe that the Palestinians have really screwed up. Israel has made mistakes.
Made
The Arab
mistakes.
countries have.
Made mistakes. There is a look to me. There's a
But
wonderful
the
article.
Palestinians don't want to accept any responsibility for anything.
You are
And as long as
talking-
Hamas is in charge, you guys have problems.
And what about the West Bank where Hamas isn't in charge? It is
My
honestly.
brother was just in the
it is-
West Bank.
it is
You want to see the
honestly-
video? Go check it out.
Yeah.
People are living
Yes, no
pretty
one-
nicely over
no one
there.
is dead, no
Have
one
you been
is-
there? Have you been there?
I have worked significantly with scholars. I haven't been there, but I've worked.
My brother was there
That's
2 weeks ago.
You know the role that Netanyahu played in putting Hamas in charge?
It is.
Do you
the
know
notion
that role?
What?
It is irrelevant whether you consider that they are guilty, that Hamas is guilty
Hamas
of something or not. They can be
And a
taken.
lot of the Palestinians and a
You-
lot of the Muslims
You
want
don't take.
Israel gone and Jewish people. We know that.
Listen to me.
That's okay.
It is fascinating.
But that's never gonna
It is-
happen.
It is fascinating that you can defend that position while Israel is openly saying that there will never be a two-state solution.
That's
and
right.
Palestinians
It won't.
don't exist.
Palestinians don't exist. They're Arabs.
You have to sleep with the positions that you defend.
That's the genocidal mindset right there.
No.
Yes, it is. That's a denial of their unique nationality.
Honestly, go to the Journal of Genocide Research, start reading by Jewish authors, by genocide scholars in general. Look at that. Look at the opinions of experts, because we do
Look,
not have this.
look at what the Jewish people contribute to this world.
That's an entirely
And-
different argument. I do not give a shit. You can't commit genocide just because you
Death,
contributed to
death,
something.
kill the Jews. That's all these kids know when they grow up.
Honest to
And
God,
I don't know how you people learn this shit.
I study this shit. All I do is study the Holocaust in Rwanda and Bosnia. All I do is dedicate my life to the study of this, and
Yeah,
it's
you
so
studied it, you know?
humiliating to see.
Humiliating.
It's so humiliating to
It's
see.
humiliating
people-
to me because my father fought in World War II against the puppet nuts.
Okay, good.
For everyone here to have their free speech and everything.
Well, we'll go into the history of all of this because America entered the war for its own reasons. I would love that they would have been for human rights and the protection of the Jewish people. That was actually historically not the reason. But listen, I do not see. I'm not going to stand up here debating with you, but I generally, if for a moment, you can look into yourself and think of how much you have dehumanized people with the greatest mass slaughter of children in the recent century since Rwanda. Does
That's
nothing to you?
that's Palestinian Hamas's fault.
Yes, all of
It's
it's their fault.
no, it's terrible when innocent people, when innocent
stabs
people.
you, it's because you provoked them. Of course, the fact that they decimated a population means nothing. It's their fault. They had no choice. A nuclear armed state.
Did you study military
A nuclear.
history
You clearly
and,
haven't.
and
A
warfare?
nuclear-
Have you
listen,
studied warfare as part of your genocide?
Yes,
you
of course I have.
You understand what
However,
happens
most-
in warfare?
Not this. By definition, not this.
What happens?
By definition, I've told you there's no other single case of warfare with this demographic breakdown of victims. You have no idea what we're talking about, and you just
Oh.
don't want to care
I
of
do
any
know.
opinion you
I know that Hamas fighters do not identify themselves by wearing military.
excuse that has always been used in counterinsurgency every single fucking time. It was used by the Russians in Bosnia, it was used in Rwanda. Because it's beyond me. It doesn't matter to you any sense of expertise or authority. It's another aspect of anti-intellectualism. You believe what you believe, and forget the data, forget the information, forget experts, forget lawyers. You know better. And whatever information is presented to you against your position is not taken to evaluate where you stand. as a genocide scholar, all I do is struggle with my positions and understand how we develop situations. And this has actually been an intense conversation, genocide scholarship, but you don't know, nor do you care, because your position is stated, you don't know that
You're so brainwashed in your
brainwashed in your facts.
just
Facts are
I
the
agree.
kind of things
Listen
you
to
don't
me. I've
want
read
to
the
listen
textbooks
to.
about this. I'm not going to debate. You don't want to believe this? Go ahead and do whatever. But the information here is on the site. This has already been recorded.
I mean,
This has been settled on
hopefully
genocide.
you're going to realize in time that you're taking the wrong side.
Take this to the wrong side. This is an issue that we study. This is an issue that we identify. It doesn't matter what you
Who
feel
the hell's
about it.
teaching you this shit?
I am the teacher, goddammit. I'm
That's
a
the
professor.
problem. Well,
Thank you.
From everything I've studied in movements of resistance and against genocide, these things, these constant protests, these small acts of resistance, they meaningfully have consequences. I remember one activist that did this in regards to the Indonesian case, came to speak to my students. They built up. So immensely thankful for your
Thank you for being here.
Of course. And I wish you that the rest of the day is as calm
All
as
right,
possible. Lovely to meet you.
Too. All right. All right.